All right, gang, let's get going with our flower sweep. So here we are. Classic flower sweep. Classic, I call it that because I think there's versions when you're the bigger player, I cleverly call the big man flower sweep, or when you're the smaller player, I call the small person flower sweep. This is classic. It works for people that, 20, 30 pounds bigger or smaller, it's pretty clean. It works well either way. It's a nice way to introduce the technique to you, and you can use it day one in your sparring. As we're playing, I'm going to start to gravitate. I might be grip breaking, like always, trying to break posture, but I'm going to focus today on sweeping my buddy to his right, because his right arm's the lead. When I try to break his posture, let me back up. When is the right time to do our flower sweep? Whenever he starts getting grips and he is not sitting back, leaning away, that's a great time for my hip bump series. He's not a heavy pressure person where maybe I gotta put a shin across us and utilize the scissor sweep series. It's when there's someone who likes to get posture, and often that's a precursor to their standing. So they like to pass standing. That's the time or the player that a lot of times you'll find flower sweep is gonna be nicest for. So whenever there's some movement, what's the movement? We got in here and he starts getting grips. He starts trying to set his grips up. That's it. That little movement, and you saw his head and shoulders went up as he adjusted his knees. That's my time to go. So sometimes I'm a little late. He got his grips. That's okay. We're always pulling with our legs, trying to use our hands. And at some point, I got my sleeve grip. As I pulled with my legs, I got my grip on the pants. I'm going to post my foot as close as I can to his right shin, and empowers my right leg to knee him in the armpit and off balance himself. He's coming over the crease of my left hip. From here, my right leg does a leg press, so the hamstring pushes up as my right hand guides his leg over, and I take the top. This sweep is about off balancing someone. Off balances are always easier when there's some movement. So if they're moving on their own, trying to set up grips, and it's just that little bit that I showed, awesome time to go. If they're not really moving and we want to see if we can encourage movement, it's the pull with our legs that gets some forward or lateral movement that gives us the movement we're looking for, that motion we're looking for, so that we can sweep them more effectively, or at least use it as our opening chess piece, our opening move in our attack from guard. Side view. Let's say he's got grips, I didn't do anything. Okay, so I'm going to get my sleeve grip. I hold this wide so he can't post on the mat and stop the sweep in the direction I'm going, or at least not easily. I just keep this to my core. I don't have to row it high or anything, I just keep it to me. I pull him to me and I bend sideways, and that lets me get a pant grip. Closer to the knee, the less effective. Closer to the foot, the more effective. But I'm not allowed to go 4 fingers inside the cuff. That's an illegal grip. So my little joke, make sure the rough's on that side if you do that, right? No, it's for my safety. It's for my fingers also. So I bend laterally like a side bend, and I get that grip, and I make a 4-finger cuff on the outside of the fabric. For the classic flower, I go right away. So as I stomp my left foot on the ground, I'll show you a different angle for that in a second. That is like a bridge. It empowers my hips to come up so that my right leg hits him in the armpit with more power. Now that he's teetering on me, it's easier for me to exaggerate or push his leg up because it's light. But my right leg, the top leg, that's the real driver to knock them over. Take whatever mount you like, all right? If you like a mid-mount game, great. Low, I'm a big fan of low mount. If you like high mount, fine. But consciously always try to punctuate in a particular mount. Don't just sweep to top and then stop. Have that, at least at minimum, have that predetermined mindset of like, what kind of mount do I like to play, or at least initially get to. The third angle. This move is called the flower sweep because I plant this foot in the ground like a flower, as opposed to the pendulum, which I swing my leg out and back like a pendulum.
when I plant my foot in the ground, this hip, this crease in my hip, excuse me, that's the direction I'm taking my butt. So I'm here, I got my grips. I stop and look, I tilted them over that. Now I leg press to you. When that shoulder's on the ground, the sweep is done. I just need to continue up. Continue up to the top. That's about all we need, I think, to cover to have a good initial opening threat with the flower sweep that we could do.